This man has so many credits, it's unbelievable. He's not only a distinguished actor and a comedian, but he's become extraordinarily well-known as one fictional character, and I've often wondered whether or not he's going to be able to live with that the rest of his personal and private career, and from what I learned about 10 minutes ago, it's not going to be any problem at all. A very interesting man, ladies and gentlemen. You know him as Archie Bunker, and we all know him as Mr. Carroll O'Connor.
Can't you act me fine?
Daddy, doesn't it bother you to come home and find Ma and me practically at each other's throats? Don't you care?
Sure I do. I told you to shut up, didn't I?
Ask me once, how come it is you always sit on the albums? They take the albums out. I don't want anybody to realize it. That's the only place I have to store it at the most. Nothing personal, believe me.
Okay, I don't mind anyway.
You know, these kids look at you and they see you weekly on All in the Family, and they see you immediately as Archie Bunker, and they forget the fact that you had a long and illustrious career. Were you always a comedic actor?
No, as a matter of fact, there was a time when I played heavies.
Villains, real toughies?
A lot of villains. I played a lot of villains and toughies, and I've played things like, generals. They're not always villains.
I saw you.
And they're on our side, you know.
Yeah. With a short, cropped haircut.
Yes, generals and admirals and judges and lawyers and all of that, and not much comedy.
One time in your life, you weren't doing this sort of thing for for a career. You were a teacher. How did you get into that?
Well, I taught in New York for about 3 years in high schools there when I couldn't get a job as an actor.
You know, a lot of these kids want to be dancers and some want to be actors. Would you discourage anybody from doing that?
No, not a bit, not a bit. But it is a thing that takes a while. I would recommend to anybody that he try to get very good professional advice as to whether he really has talent, and accept that advice too. If somebody says you don't have any, accept it.
Stop then.
But if you get the right kind of professional encouragement that you can really count on, then go ahead with it, and then don't let anybody stop you. And you've got to go through about 10, 12 years, maybe, without earning a dime. And you'll have all the pressure of people saying, oh, get out of that crazy business, get into something that is more stable and something that's more secure and sure. But if you really feel you have it, and good people tell you you have it, then stay with it.
You don't have any regrets, do you?
No, not a bit.
I wouldn't think so. All right, now you've never had a press conference like this in your life. Maybe this will take you back to when you were a teacher now.
Now, no prejudice intended, but, you know, I always check with the Bible on these here things.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, if God had meant us to be together, he'd have put us together. But look what he's done. He put you over in Africa, he put the rest of us in all the white countries.
Well, you must have told him where we were, because somebody came and got it. I mean, there was work for us. I mean, and how could you resist? Free transportation, room, board, chains.
I think you're talking about slavery there, Sammy. I want to tell you that I was always dead set against slavery. You see what goes on around here, Sammy? Every time I start to have a serious conversation, these kids go crazy. Another thing they're always doing to me, they're always telling me I'm prejudiced. Now listen, you're a guy been around a lot. You've seen a lot of people, you know a lot, see? Yeah. Now you look at me. You figure me a prejudiced guy?
Oh, Archie, you don't tell me you're really paying attention to those young kids. What do they know? I mean, you prejudice. Look, if you were prejudiced, Archie, when I came into your house, you would have called me a coon or a nigger. But you didn't say that. I heard you clear as a bell. Right straight out, you said, colored.
Yeah, that's what I done, all right.
And if you were prejudiced, you would, like some people, close their eyes to what's going on in this great country that we live in. But not you, Archie. Your eyes are wide open. You can tell the difference between black and white. And I have a deep-rooted feeling that you'll always be able to tell the difference between black and white. And if you were prejudiced, you'd walk around thinking that you're better than anybody else in the world. But I can honestly say, having spent these marvelous moments with you, you ain't better than anybody.
Can I have your hand on that, Sammy?
Who had the other question? I forgot.
Do you differ in your views from Archie Bunker?
Do you differ in your views from Archie Bunker? Okay, wait a minute. I have a way to do this. That's out of context. That wasn't the next question. I wanted to save that one for a minute, but as long as we're here, if I were to ask you a question as Carroll O'Connor, for instance, let's do an answer from Carroll O'Connor and then an answer from Archie Bunker. How do you, Carroll O'Connor, feel about conservation?
Well, I feel very strongly about conservation, and I think that our resources have been used very, very badly and carelessly, and I think we're suffering from it now, and we have to take into account everything we use.
Now,
be careful about replacing things.
Play the part that you're so well known for. How does Archie Bunker? Archie, how do you feel about conservation?
What do you mean, saving the trees? And what are you gonna save the trees? You gotta have houses, don't you? Huh? We gotta have houses. The city people, the country people gotta have their outhouses. You gotta make them out of wood. What are you gonna do? Save the trees? And nobody have no outhouses to go. What would happen in there, huh?
All right. Who had the other one over here? Yes, ma'am.
Do you get along with Rob Reiner when you're off stage?
You and Rob Reiner friends?
Oh, yes, we're very close friends, yes.
You'd never know it from watching him on
No.
television. I got to grab one last one over here, the blonde-haired lady.
Do the kids in school make fun of you with the name like Carroll?
When you were a kid, did they make fun of the first name Carroll?
They sure did. All the time. If they were my size, I could stop it. If they were bigger, I had to live with it.